And people who are staying in Delhi, for them it's okay. They enjoy doing it. But
Yeah, we do
classes,
enjoy, but
yeah,
these days it's very, very severe.
yes,
It's dry, yeah, dry, chilly weather. So, yeah, it pierces into your bones. That's what is very bad.
Malik, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Very good evening to one and all. We welcome you to the Deccan Positive Mental Health webinar series. We welcome today resource person Dr. Chandrakala Diali, ma'am, Senior Assistant Professor, Amity University, Noida, and we welcome participants and teammates on behalf of Manasa Subkara Mindcare Hyderabad in association with the Yellowburn Counseling Center, Hyderabad, India, Forest Creative Heart Studio, Punjab. Thank you. Over to intro section, ma'am. Thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for that welcome address. And today, our resource person, Dr. Chandrakala Diali, is going to speak on mental health scenario of later adulthood in the new liberalized era, a social work perspective. And a very warm welcome once again to you, ma'am. And we are into the 87th session. Dr. Chandrakala Diali, ma'am, holds a PhD, an MPhil, and MSW degree in social work from the Delhi University and Lucknow University with UGC NET and a recipient of the Research Fellowship from UGC. She was appointed as a research advisor to complete a research project funded by the National Commission for Women, that is first ever book on women in Sikkim entitled A Situational Analysis of Women and Girls in Sikkim. The same book is published by NCW, that is widely cited for the national and international publications. Her academic and research interests include geriatric, social work, mental health, social psychology, child and women's rights, counseling, and gender studies. She has many research publications in reputed national and international journals, articles, chapters published in books like Scopus, Springer, Bloomsbury, Polish, Social Gerontology Journal, Ex Libris, Concept Publisher, and others. She has been invited as a resource person in many national and international forums. She is executive committee member of ACAP, Active Aging Consortium for Asia Pacific from India, life member of NAPSWI, that is the National Association of Professional Social Work. She's the visiting faculty of Urindo Universitas, Respati, Indonesia. With that very short introduction, a very, very warm welcome to you, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the dignitaries present here. Thank you to the organizing team. And thank you all the participants for having me here. And once again, thank you to Suranda Ravi ma'am for being so thoughtful to organize this program where I'm getting a platform to speak out my thoughts, my concerns about geriatric population, and especially to do with mental health problems among elderly. Now, in this new liberalized era, my if I read out the title, Mental Health Scenario of Later Adulthood in the New Liberalized Era, Social Work Perspective. So, since I'm a social work at a core, so my perspective would be entirely on application point of view, right? So, uh, may I please know the organizing team? Who all are the participants? Are they professionals or they are all students? It's a mixed group. Am I audible?
It's mixed. Yeah, yeah, it's mixed group, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
I'm a geriatrician from USA.
Oh, that's great, sir. That gives me a jittery that I've got to be correct. So, as far as before I begin with my presentation, first of all, I would like to all let you know that especially I'm targeting it to the students who are learning, they are budding researchers. As far as later adulthood is concerned, earlier we used to call them elderly and old age, this, that. So very respectfully, we call them later adulthood stage. We have a lifespan, and within that we have life stages, right? It begins with prenatal, then postnatal, then infancy, then early childhood, then adolescent, and then comes adulthood, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and later adulthood. So, and in Indian context, it is 60 plus when it comes to elderly, the later adulthood. And neoliberalized era, that means I'm talking about the post-industrial phase, right? It's a pre-industrial phase where we had more of manual labor, where physical labor was appreciated, where people were indulged with primary kind of sector of economy and all. But post, this industrialized phase, that means new liberalized phase, people, are mostly into service sector, manufacturing, So, and it is to do with machineries, where manufacturing is there, where services are there. So it's highly industrialized, commercialized, globalized, and hence modernization. So, and very recently there was hiccups in each one of our lives across the globe, that is COVID-19. So then we got to know, oh, mental health. We never thought so seriously about elderly people that there could be concern with, because elderly, we thought, they are the ones who are going to percolate down all the knowledge, all that they have experienced throughout their life, and then they are the ones who are knowledge givers. They are the ones who have endured everything in their life, and they are the ones who have acquired everything, and all the knowledge and traditional knowledge practices and childcare, self-care. And we thought they are well developed people. They are well developed in their knowledge, as far as self-care is concerned, the family concerns, we thought that. But during the COVID, we got to know that, when we were assessing that, mental health problem, because we were severely affected with mental health problem during the COVID. And before that, mental health issues were very lightly taken. But when we presumed that it is the youth, who are adolescent group, who are having a lot of mental health issues because of the stresses, because of the examinations, because of a lot of employment problems, and a lot of exams being halted. There have been a lot of disruption in the daily lives and daily opportunities and all that, and a lot of job cuts and all that. But when we pondered upon, when people started researching, that we found that it is the elderly population that are suffering more as far as mental health problems are concerned. So that has really taken us all aback, because we never thought elderly could be the group, or that stage of the age where you are likely to suffer with mental health problems, right? And what is this mental health problems? Let us uncover that. Mental health, in a very layman statement I would like to give, mental health is basically mind, right? It is the very thought, the thinking pattern, the feelings, the your and it all feeling pattern, thinking pattern, your perception, your attitude. It is all through hereditary and socialization. And then these days more from social media, right? Today's Gen Z, they are being socialized uh, by social media. But and then mental health, when we are talking about, it's the very thinking, feelings, and is the way we kind of respond to different stimuli in life, right? So COVID did not do well with elderly people or later adulthood, section of the population, because recently one movie had come on COVID-19, and there also they had kind of shown that we started. There was a lot of blame game. What is the source of? First, though, it is all to do with China, where it erupted, and then second is, who are the potential source of spread of the COVID-19. So it was like, it was when we assess, when we research, then we found the one with the lower immunity, you know. So lower immunity is what? As we know, theories of biological theories, social theories, it talks about, especially if we focus on biological theory of, older age or elderly, we or later adulthood, we have come across many theories that identifies that as we kind of advance in our aging, that there is a lot of degeneration in our structure, in our functioning, in our COVID, cognitive activities, in our thinking, in our, so many things are being affected, because so many part of life is affected, because one, you are already not very active, because you are retired. If we talk about working population, you are retired, right? So that way, I mean, different stimuli are there, because we are affected with the different aspect of our life. So hence we are like, mental health is how, but it depends on how we respond to different stimuli, and it is not exactly the same with every individual. See, every individual, it depends on how her or his motivation level is, how or her attitude is, how or his social networking is, how is his interaction and relationship. It depends on many factors at an individual level. So it did not, we all blamed at geriatric population. So there are many mental health, symptoms that geriatric population show. And in order to, before I begin with that, I'll just let you know the figures and facts, especially for students. So old is, it is a universal phenomenon. The proportion of world elderly population or later adulthood over 60 years plus is rapidly increasing. So that is nearly doubling from 12% to 22% between 2015 and 2050. So very recently, 2016 report, which is based on 2011 census, India has 103.9 million elderly. That is about 8.5% of the population, right? Elderly population. The rate of growth of senior population is about 3.5% per year, which is much higher than the population as a whole. And Helpage India, which is, a top ranking, organization, which is very, very dedicatedly working towards the elderly population. It's a non-profit organization, students. So it is dedicated to the work of working of, towards the elderly, and as per this organization, 2014 report says that India will remain a youngest country in the world by 2020, but soon turn into a country of an elderly by 2050, as 325 million people, or 20% of the population, will be elderly. The same reports that adds between 2006 and 2015, the overall population of India grown will grow by about 40%. The elderly population will be grown by 270%. So you can imagine how much this section of the population is going to have a rate of increase. So we've got to be well prepared. That indicates, or that alerts us to understand that we've got to be proactive in terms of taking care, in terms of understanding their population, this section of the population, understanding their problems and challenges, and understanding the strategies to be adopted in order to kind of take care of them in a simple language, in order to kind of help them to live a very dignified life, because our constitution gives us the provision for dignity of life, right? So right to dignity of life and right to life. So every section of the population should be able to enjoy. And when we know that the data has already given us the alarming fact that India's, later adulthood population is going to increase in number more than the increase of the population. So hence we've got to be alert. So I've already told you concept of old age and mental health. Now, the concept of mental health has drawn the global attention and is very essential aspect of health, and is not only the absence of mental illness. It refers to a widespread range of activities directly or indirectly related to the different facets, like the mental well-being of a person. Well-being of a person. What do you mean by, in simple terms, students, all the participants? In simple terms, what is a well-being? If I have to just tell to layman, how you feel about your life, how you are feeling, how on daily basis, how energetic you feel, how motivated you feel, how positive you are to look forward to your life on everyday basis and every step of your life. That is well-being. You might have sufficiency, you might experience quantity in life, but qualitatively, how well you feel, how good you feel about yourself, your self-concept about yourself, and ideal self, how you perceive yourself to become, that's how well you feel, about your life and about yourself, your relationship, your social milieu, your purpose of life, finding a purpose of life, your spiritual connectivity, all determines the well-being. It is connected with different aspects of life. For example, your physiology, your mental health, your your social health, your emotional health, your psychological health, your spiritual health. So these aspects culminate into giving you a sense of well-being, mental well-being, right? And how you perceive yourself to be, how you perceive yourself to be in the social milieu, when you see your relationship with the other person, with your environment, we kind of negate, or we kind of neglect that aspect, how well you feel being in tandem with nature around you. That is also environmental nature, the environment around you, the prakriti around you, that is also there. And another is health prevention of mental disorder of a person. So mental health is to do with the prevention. There is a prevention, promotion, and protection. Okay, so we've got, and development. So we've got to think about when it comes to mental health, we've got to first think about the prevention part of it. That's for the reason when we know, we are proactively researching on elderly population in terms of mental health, so that we as a country should be able to be proactive in strategizing our plan in order to help the elderly towards prevention, towards protection, towards promotion of their mental well-being. Okay, so ensure care and support through treatment and rehabilitation of people affected by mental disorder, and it could lead to palliative care as well. How institutions are preparing. See, what I feel as a social scientist is, participants, I feel more the country have old age home, lower should be the happiness quotient of that, country, because what I believe as a, I mean, ethically, a family or a community should be able to take care of the elderly in the family. It should be community based, affairs. If you want to read about my community based affair, you can always go to ACAP, bulletin, where I've written extensively about community based rehabilitation practices. ACAP bulletin in 2020, I've written during the COVID. There you can please find out my paper. So I can give the details to the organizer. So care and support through treatment and rehabilitation, we've got to ensure that we treat them so well. Okay, special focus on intervention, generating responsiveness towards the mental health issues and related problem. Now, intervention generating responsiveness towards the mental health issues and related problems. See, mental health issues are many. It could be depression, it could be stress, it could be panic attack, it could be, some stresses, it could be dementia, it could be so many problems. It could have a lot of symptoms. It is symptomatic, right? So in that case, we've got to understand as a practitioners, because everything is, if you are a practitioners, that becomes application based. So we've got to understand how we are mentally affected, geriatric population, how we are supposed to plan the strategies to rehabilitate the people. And as far as Indian community is concerned, we are not supposed to do it institutionalized. And if it is institutionalized, that should be, I feel, public sector, what I feel, so that whoever the geriatric population, if they are, getting institutionalized rehabilitation for their mental health problems or related issues, because of palliative problem, because of long-term chronic illness and all that, because of that, if they are getting such rehabilitation, ensuring that government agency is intervening so that the quality is maintained. Because what happens is, in the name of geriatric population, the funds are being generated, but they are not done. The needful is not done. The need-based activities and services are not provided. So that we've got to take care. And this is a social work perspective that I'm giving. If any one of you are social workers out here, you've got to take care of kind of or quality of intervention. Next is enhancing the organizing and mobilizing efforts to advocate supporting the issues of mental health that is necessary to address the prevailing issues or prevailing situations. So organizing and mobilizing efforts. So when we are talking about organizing and mobilizing efforts, there are many stakeholders here. In order to take care of our very beloved geriatric population, we have to ensure that all the stakeholders are being participatory. It should be participatory in nature. It should be inclusive in nature. It should be inclusive in the sense every stakeholder should be very, very interested, very focused, and very, very enthusiastic towards taking care, towards supporting, towards rehabilitating for the outcome, positive outcome based, rehabilitation should be there. We should be able to visualize the outcome, through their happiness, through their well-being. So here a big circle, can you see here when I'm talking about the different facets of mental health participants? Here it's a full circle I've come back to. So when the whole stakeholders, and stakeholders are who? Professional body, family, the geriatric person, the elderly person himself and herself should be motivated to lead a very quality life, right? And we as a family, we as a community, we as a neighborhood, we as the social system, society, we as a nation should come forth to give them the best, because they have endured, they have done so much. And till the last generation, it is without any hesitation, I would say that, they have lived a very, very meaningful and exemplary life of sustainability. They have shown how sustainable you could be. This generation, because of hyper globalization, because of globalization, hyper globalization, or hyper consumerism, things have gone with uncontrollable. The development has been uncontrollable. Development has taken a different way, away from the mainstream, what do I say, person-centric development it should be. But we have gone into concretizing and, kind of concretizing and many other things, which is not sustainable in nature. But till the last generation, those geriatric population, or those who have elderly population, have been exemplary in their lifestyle. There were less of everything. Slowization was practiced, right? Sustainability was practiced. So I appreciate that's for the reason we have to ensure that we should be able to learn through their life practices, what kind of best practices they have followed, what kind of ways, or individual, hygiene, sanitation, community participation, the emotional, how they were able to endure their emotional fluctuations. We should learn from them. So this is our time to give back to them, right? This is what I would like to mention here. So now I would come to, if that is understood, then I would like to come here to mental health problems that are diagnosed or underdiagnosed, are symptomatic in the person thinking, moods, behaviors, and responses to the events of life, has many early warnings and signs of experiencing single or mixture of the following feelings or behavior. So these are the mixed symptoms that elderly show. And let us know what are those. Change in habits. Since they are retiring population, physics also shows that the cells stop multiplying, tissues and all, they start halting, and then there is death of cells and this, that, if you are not leading. That's for the reason active aging, I'm one of the 3 representatives of India's story in ACAP, active aging consortium for Asia Pacific. And very recently we were invited before COVID, share the story, the psychosocial, I have shared about how change in habit happens, in the way they do their things, eating, sleeping, because it is either they sleep more or they sleep too little. They are so confused how much to sleep, how much to eat, what to eat. So yesterday only there a lot of change in habits and all that, and it is quite fluctuating, on daily basis. So he, as a carer, should be very cautious about it. He has to work for 12 hours, and every geriatric population, he has about 18 patients under his care and all. So at the international level, and that too UK, when we are talking about, they give the best of the care, as far as better than Canada and all this US and all. UK has the best, I mean, way out or strategy or policies to give the best to the every individual, in that adult, later adulthood. So there is a lot of change in habit they show. They don't know, because it is for the first time they are. It's like the, you know, we say, I am. Every mother is a new mother. When you attend the motherhood, every mother is a new mother, but we are treated as if we've been mothering since long time. So we've got to be given that chance, and not to judge every mother, how she's taking care, or what is her child practices and all that. So we are not supposed to judge a woman because she is, first time mother. So that way, earlier the geriatric population, or the sasu, the mother-in-law, used to take care, because we have a different structure and functioning in the society. Indian society is more of joint family and community based, and also if the child is born, the child used to be raised up by the whole community. But this is unlike today's in the neo liberalized era. We don't even know who is living in our next door neighborhood until it's a front house. We don't know who is there on the side and all, in the apartments and all in Delhi. That's how we live. So that's what we've got to have a very careful watch on their change in habits. And next is affect psychological and socially. That means the person shows the sign of feeling helpless or hopeless, affecting social interaction, and then person starts becoming very reclusive and introverts, drawing themselves away from people and normal activities. So they show some kind of, I am now, what is the use? Is anybody having any interest in me? Even family members, is my grandchildren ready to talk to me, spend some time with me? Is my working, daughter-in-law interested in me anymore? That kind of feelings they suffer with. And now, when with a changing, I have already mentioned social cultural facets of life. The earlier women used to take charge of nurturer and nourisher. Things have changed because of women. Negative impact of women empowerment, financial empowerment is like, they have joined the working workforce, and they are no longer they are not no longer playing the role of nurturer and nourisher only. So in that case, the care and support of the elderly in the family system is affected. So there, now these days, elderly people are taking care of the grandchildren. So there is added responsibility that is being added to the geriatric population. Instead of, they have endured so long, they've done everything to raise their children. They've endured all the atrocity of, what do I say? They have endured every changing scenario, dynamism in the family. Then again, they have to take responsibility of their grandchildren and all that. So they are confused if they are in the joint family still. And sometimes if the if I can, organizer, give me 2 seconds, I'll just tell my My children are little. Okay, thank you. I'll just switch off. If if geriatric population, they are confused with the changing dynamism in the family system, changing roles, in terms of family gender roles and all that. So that is affecting the psychological and social, because it is unlike their generation, things are changing so fast. No, now fatigue feeling, that means they are tired, affected, reducing his energy down and complete demotivated and reduce energy. So until you are into the habit of active living, you are motivated, you belong to army family, you are set in that pattern of living actively, happily, you yourself is 100% motivated. If I reflect back to Maslow theory and all that, theory that about it, yes. So self-actualization and all, if you are that, achieved that self-actualization stage and all, then very good for you as a geriatric population. But a normal geriatric, older population would not understand as how to cope up with it, with the changing dynamism in the society, in the family system, in the way they are feeling, their biological, the structuring, their social milieu, they are, so everything is mixed together, and they are kind of they are feeling fatigued, they are not understanding what to do, want what to eat, how to eat, they don't have any support system. The social support system is more institutionalized, so to say, because family members, the son is busy, searching for his own identity in the workforce, competitive market and all that. The daughter-in-law is, because of women empowerment in the financial sector and all that, I mean financial empowerment and all, she is looking for her own identity, and it's a whole dynamic, the paradigm has changed. So with this paradigm, changing paradigm, dynamism, things are very, very fatigued for the last generation, so we've got to take care of that, and we've got to help them to navigate through, sail through, so that they are adaptive, they would be able to adapt to the changing scenario, become reclusive. They show the sign of withdrawal with complete feeling of numbness, on nothing matters. They either go, oh my God, what kind the world has become. There was no environment care, no sustainability. People are going for consumeristic kind of life. Showmanship is there. It's no longer the social connectiveness, or there's no longer community gathering and all, no longer having a leisure time, they are in isolation, they are not being protected, taken care, being asked, in the, and so hence we've got to do every activity, we have to ensure that every activity is in the interest of we have to understand or do the activity in the interest of older population, in the interest of later adulthood. And physical problem, as you know, everything becomes degenerative, and that's a biological aging. There is a social aging. If you stay inactive, if you are reclusive in nature, if you are non-interactive, you are very person, you are very, very kind of introvert, and you are socially not very active and all, you feel lonely, you feel, and if I mean, lonely people could be very happy, but if you are in love with your books, if you are in love with your art and all, they enjoy the artist and all. But if you are such, so they show even addiction, quote unquote, the person resort to the use of substance abuse because they have to sleeping tablet, because I'm not all this sister, daughter-in-laws, the spouse that sometimes, bereavement, could be spouse is dead who was taking care of him or her, so that way they resort to substance abuse, smoking, drinking, or using drugs from little to more amount. Okay, so social psychologically distance, they show the sign of feeling inconfident and demotivated and surround themselves with negativity. Like they are generally very scared, disorderly, insensible, angry, and worried. They show sign of anger also. They show anger management issues. They are not able to. They get pissed off with small thing. If the salt is not there, proper kind of palatable food is not there, something that their spouse used to cook and all, the same taste is not there, they get annoyed, they feel not being taken care, they feel agitated. So they should, we've got to understand that, the same way like pregnant lady, a lot of tantrum and all, or maybe we are into this menopause and all stage, how we are hormonal disbalance and all. Because of that, we show a lot of change in our behavior, tantrum and all that. So we've got to understand this stage also suffering the same, right? Lack of peace of mind, they show the sign of agitation and trivial things, often yelling or fighting with people surrounding them. So we've got to take care of the dadas and dadis who shows a lot of anger issues and all that. If they are fighting with the small things, so we've got to understand them psychological. So we've got to give them some time to talk it out and resolve the issues, the internal issues, because internal emotion, internal thinking pattern, behavioral pattern, that behavior is the depiction of your attitude, perception, your everything, your emotions and everything. So just a second. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Is it too much the time? Organizer, if it is time, please let me know. Hello.
Yeah, please carry on. Yeah.
So
Till 7:30 you can take. Yeah.
Ma'am, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 more minutes.
So lack of peace of mind, they show the sign of agitation. I've already done. Lack of patience also. The people with mental health problem experience high mood swings that cause many problems, such as psychosocial problems. So psychosocial problems is to do with the kind of behavioral change, the way, the activity, the if I'm keeping a specs here, then I'm yelling at you, my daughter-in-law, son, I'm keeping the slipper here and searching somewhere else and all that. So so that way they lose the patience. They are like in a hurry, give me food on time. If the tea is little late and all, they make you and cry about it. My if mummy hoti to aisa hota. Very recently my brother's mother-in-law expired, and the father, he started behaving in a different way because she was so indulgent in taking care of him. So he never picked up this water, glass of water to serve himself. So that way he was so used to having her, and suddenly in the kitchen while serving him muli paratha, she just collapsed and she expired. She was a fantastic woman. And then because of bereavement, he's into all these panic attacks. And at this age, he's retired for the last, I think, 8 years or so. But now he's showing that symptoms of all this later adulthood, because lack of patience and all, he's becoming very restless and all. So we've got to be sensible and sensitive. Maniac behavior, another symptoms that they show is maniac behavior. The mental health related people show insistent feeling, thoughts, views, and memories you can't get out of your head. So they become like a maniac. They think so much. If they are thinking about during the, if they are mourning about their spouse and all, mummy ye karti thi, mummy wo khichdi wala aisa taste ka banati thi, I'm sorry if you are only understanding English, I'll repeat it. If, they would just repeat the same thing. They will recall the same memory, box, and they will open that Pandora box, and then they'll search for that particular events and all. They'll repeat that, and it would cause not only anxiety for themselves, it would be very, it's as a source of stressor for the carer also in the family. So that needs to be taken care with the help of institution, with the help of community and neighborhood, of course, family, the family system, right? So the close family and the extended family. So psychotic situation, the person with mental health problem also experience weird situation, like they hear voices or believe things that are not existing and untrue. So they say, वहाँ पर कोई है, कौन इतना बोल रहा है? And I know of a person who had been having this insistent coughing, and he started. It's my cousin. They belong to very well-off family. He's like one of those very very rich people in a small state, and he shared, since I am in I have been researching on geriatric and also people who are having that those population and are those people, elderly people in their house and all, they share with me. He started complaining of foul smell in his room, and nowhere there is a foul smell. It's so clean every day, on everyday basis. People are cleaning, multiple people are there to help him on personal hygiene and all that, but still he's smelling something bad, and he's about 84 years. So that kind of psychotic situation would be experienced by the geriatric population. So self-harm, and they would be harming, they can be dangerous for their own selves and others sometimes. So they would either kind of they sometimes I've seen geriatric population, they start whatever you ask them not to do, they would just do the same thing time and again. So it's like as if a child is disobeying the parents, the same kind of attributes, the childlike attributes they would be showing. And self-harming could be suicidal also. They become suicidal to that extent, if not being taken care, supported by the social system. Indifference, they become indifferent to their responsibilities to perform their daily tasks, like taking care of their household chores and taking care of the children, so grandchildren and all. They just deny to take care. So these are the symptoms that they show. And I would just give you, since I am about to get to, get over with the time. So I'll just reflect on the diagnostic findings that are, there are many, the multiple social, psychological, biological, and changing cultural factors determine the level of mental health of a person at any given point of time. The study of Sa et al. Have reported that 34.5% elderly medical outpatients had psychiatric comorbidity. Comorbidity is whatever illness you are suffering, you have, associated problems you would be showing. So following are the diagnostic finding, like depression is 20%. 20% of the geriatric population is suffering with depression. And during the COVID-19, we have found out, because of isolation, because of this blame game in the in the family also, family system also, the grandchildren were sidelined. Oh, Dadaji ke paas mat jana, he's coughing, and he could be a very potential, source of spread of COVID-19. That way they had sidelined the geriatric population. In UP, I've stayed with such family where, geriatric population were let out in the porch area. They have this culture in UP, Kanpur and other places, that if you are advancing in your age, 80 plus and all, you are not able to take care, they start putting them in the porch area, and they make a shift home kind of structure they create. And then if they want to defecate also, they would just clean up with the help of this thing. So that has been a very very normal culture, so which I have witnessed with my eyes. So followed by substance related problem, 4.9% problem related to rest and sleep. So rest and sleep, as far as related problem like rest and sleep problem is concerned, 3.9% is suffering with that. Problem related to social relationship, 3.2%. And even the problem related to neurocognition is concerned, 1.9%. This problem with mental health is very difficult to identify by patient themselves. The professional and the stigma problems discourages the patients and family to sought for help. So that is stigmatized. Oh, what a pagal ho gaya hai. That's what, oh. And it especially happens when you are economically, you don't no longer is active member of the workforce. You are get retired, you feel useless. Financially you become weaker and dependent. You have depression, you have dementia, and then substance abuse. And WHO has declared the dementia as a public health challenge in May 2017 with some they had a lot of objective like dementia supportive initiative program to elevate the risk of dementia. So a lot of this dementia is like a loss of memory, where you go completely, you slowly, there are many forms of dementia. Alcohol abuse, so because of bereavement and other loss of good physical and psychological health, lot of life of dependency, depression and boredom. So medication is another, because of over indulgent in medication, because of morbidity and all that. Hence there is a huge mortality which we have witnessed in till second COVID-19. So my paper on, if you want to know elaborately, I would have, if I was given a time, I would have really done more, and so, just to give you a brief, I still have 1 minute to go. Quickly I'll sum up. Professional social worker role in the three-dimensional area for elderly with mental health problem. Preventive measures to help the elderly enjoy and assert through the golden phase of life, healthy and in happy dignity. The very important address is the problem of grief problems are proper treatment and care at all localized level, and with the local and natural medication, traditional medication or homemade remedies, promotive to enable the elderly to have a fulfilling phase of life. So that one strategy, uh, during the COVID, UGC had come up with this year. Education department had come up with the India Pade online. That time I was being made by Amity University. I was being made the faculty coordinator there. I suggested, me being the representative of elderly, I suggested to UGC that geriatric population who are researcher, who could be a potential resource person, should be used for mass education, through some kind of what do I say, mass communication, through mass communication measures or means. They should be used in order to kind of spread the education, or in order to spread the literacy, or in order to literate the illiterate people, in order for adult education, also for the education of the downtrodden, or those who are not digitally literate, and people who belong to low sociocultural background and all, from remote villages and all. The mass communication could be the means where the geriatric population, those who are very, very highly literate population, could be used as a resource person. So that's what, that could be a promotive factor. They could be used as a mentor, for the demotivated youth, and RB personnel, like for example, Amity University, which the institute I belong to, we use a lot of geriatric population who are retired army men, who are retired, management professional, for our management of IT, for our management of administration and all, and they do wonderful work. Their output is so awesome, the outcome is so awesome. So that's how you know, geriatric population or later adulthood is not a burden, it is a boon. And it is a blessing when we know the right strategy to make best use of them, to make best use of their knowledge, to make best of use of their experience, to make best use of their endurance and the best practices that they have applied in order to endure their life, to make the earth so sustainable till the last generation. With this, I end my presentation. Thank you so much, the organizing team. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
This is Dr. Venugopal Reddy from USA. And if I want to share my thoughts about this issue, I'll require at least 15 minutes. So we don't have that time. Just one thing I want to say. For your kind information, the elderly population, they are suffering because of the media, mainstream media, social media, and the so-called pseudo experts, COVID phobia. That time, all the fear injected, you gave this one, that one, everything. In Kerala also, people above the age of 60, they were not allowed to go out of the home.
I know.
They are especially in some kind of a house arrest. This kind of a stupidity by the so-called the health care officials. They are not health care officials, they are health scare officials. The elderly people are really victims of all these pseudo experts, day in and day out, coming with all sorts of their own expert opinions. So that is all what I want to say now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Just
thank you, ma'am.
you know,
It was a mind-blowing session. We thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. Yeah, friends, now we can interact with ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
good
It's a
evening.
wonderful session.
Thank you.
Yeah, as sir rightly said, it is actually the social media, and I think they are creating that phobia as if after 60, as if we don't have life actually, and everything is a fear. Should not to do this, don't do this, don't go out, don't eat this, and everywhere so much of restrictions. And nowadays, it's WhatsApp University and other places. So many forwards are coming, and people are confused, and they started doing experimenting with their life. So as you mentioned earlier days, all these things are not there. Whatever they feel like doing, they used to do it. That's why they were very happy. Now we are guided by not by people, by media. As sir rightly said, we are guided by media, and instead of encouraging things, it's actually the fear they're injecting it. So because of fear, uh, and we stop living in a normal life. And COVID, anyway, it's not only COVID, there are other things also. Thank you for the wonderful inputs, ma'am. And it's a
Thank
really
you.
wonderful session.
Thank you.
Yeah, others, R.K. Kapoor, sir, then. Yeah, I think somebody, yeah, Shamla, ma'am. Please go ahead, ma'am. Shamla, ma'am.
I think you have to open the queue or something because
No,
it's
no,
showing.
they can unmute themselves.
I've unmuted, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
Okay.
You're audible.
Yeah. So the session was very beautiful and focusing a lot on geriatric health. Um, you spoke about the experience, the experience which probably goes wasted because of today's the what to say the younger generation. um, they are not very keen on they want promotion so fast, everything to happen so fast. I think they try to push away the elderly people, not taking their opinion or suggestions. I think there is a rethinking happening to even the extend the retirement age to 65, because they can definitely contribute a lot towards society. Also for personal health, it is very important that the elderly people, start building up some kind of hobbies for themselves when just a lot much before their retirement. Because when you retire suddenly from a very active stage, you move into a stage where you feel disrespected, or not giving nobody giving you any attention. So instead of seeking attention, or because everybody is busy, sometimes it may be genuine, sometimes it may be an issue, but not depending on anyone, just trying to be on a self-reliant mode. It's always better taking care of their physical health, mental health, developing some hobbies, and so engaging themselves in a very fruitful way would take a long what to say long way for them to have a good health, I suppose. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Kapoorji.
Excellent knowledge sharing from a knowledgeable and experienced resource person.
Thank you, sir.
She
Thank you.
explained about mental health beautifully in detail. Her suggestions are very good, especially in maintaining mental health to all. And what I could understand, or rather, I could suggest also, just adding to what she has told, elder people, they should be strong enough because they have lived the life, they have also a lot of experiences. So why they get carried away by social media or their surroundings? It means before just
Hello.
blaming
May I
somebody,
speak, ma'am?
Somebody else is speaking. R.K.
Hello.
Kapoor sir
Hello.
is
Yes.
speaking.
May I speak, ma'am?
Yeah, later on you can speak, sir.
hello,
We can
Priya?
leave
Okay.
room
Okay.
for RK Kapoorji. Yeah,
Okay.
just a minute, sir.
Myself Bhupati Saha. I'm a special educator on Kendriya Vidyalaya Board. Okay.
Bhupati sir, may I interrupt you? At present, R.K. Kapoor sir is speaking, so let him complete his, thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Input,
No, no.
and then you do it, please. Thank you so much.
What a wonderful coincidence. This is all what happens in life also. In our COVID period also, the similar situations were happening. Somebody is telling something, somebody is telling something, and ultimately it was the chaos which were getting created. And those people, many, I mean, we all know what were the level of sufferings, isn't it? Let it be in the family or neighborhood or wherever. So that time, see, I was also living in an apartment, and I simply used to tell people, you think inside yourself. Do not get carried away by the outside world. Even that news and all, that was so much disturbing. The things were presented in such a way as if they were creating the real fear, isn't it? So in family, I mean, I might have contacted not less than 200 people, and many people contacted me also because I was quite popular in my area. So then I thought, if you are simply say you are disturbed, it is quite natural because of you are getting some phone call from your some own relative friend or somebody that it is happening. Somebody is hospitalized, oxygen is not available. All those things are there, and which were not in your control. So what I want to say, do not get much disturbed by the things which are beyond your control, but you concentrate on the things which are within your control. That is, who stops you from meditation, who stops you from thinking positively, who stops you from watching some positive movies, isn't it? You had enough time. Normally, we have a tendency of blaming and complaining that we do not have time, this, that, something like that. But that was the golden opportunity where you could develop yourself. You could, go through some Ramayana, Gita. I mean, so many knowledgeable things are available because things have been always available, but you say time is not there. Now, time is also there, and that time you were wasting instead of strengthening yourself. So it was just something, one addition to whatever good things you have told. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Bhupati ji, please go ahead.
Bhupati ji. Bhupati ji,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. मैं ये पूछ रहा था मैम, मेरे पास एक स्टूडेंट है जो कि ऑटिज्म है, ठीक है मैम। बस वो उसका बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम ठीक नहीं हो रहा है मैम, क्या किया जाए उसका? मतलब कि बार बार प्रिंसिपल के चैम्बर में चला जाता है।
See, now I'm dealing with the mental health of elderly, but I know about this problem that you have experienced. Patience is the way, way out. You've got to be very patient with the child. A child is not understanding, he is not even understanding self and the environment around him. So what you have to do is, as a teacher, Tare Jameen Pe, you have seen, sir? So
yes,
the social system has to be very positive. The family system has to be very positive. The school system as an institute has to support the spirituality, through yoga, through meditation. He has to practice best practices in order to move ahead in his life. And I've seen many autistic children becoming much better than their counterpart, than a normal one, if given a proper kind of a supportive environment. But you have to promote them, you have to give them opportunity. So patience is the way out, sir. The way you handle the geriatric population, palliative care geriatric population, the same way, patience is what is going to win over, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ji. Yeah, Venugopal sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Will take only 30 seconds. Now, all these elderly people, please spread this message. They must look at Modi, who is 70 plus, Karge 80 plus. They are not afraid of many things, and they are not sitting inside the home, sitting and worrying. So the age is not the problem of the age. It is the mindset. It is the mindset. Change the mindset, your life will be much better. That is all. All this, anything, any amount of this support, that support, go here, this one, rehabilitation, counseling, these are all waste. This is a waste of time and money and energy. Change the mindset. Look at all these elderly people who are very active, and they are this one. So make these people also, instead of sitting at home idle, with whatever knowledge and skills, go out and share that knowledge and skills for the benefit of the public. I am right now retired. What am I doing? I'm sharing, I'm donating my time, energy, knowledge for the benefit of the public. Every week I give a webinar. That's what I'm doing without expecting any remuneration. If they do that one, their health will be good because they are helping others. Instead of that one, oh, my son is not looking after me, my daughter is not looking after me, my daughter-in-law is not caring for me. This is real pain. You are suffering because of your mindset, your attitude, nothing else. That's all I ought to say. Thank you.
Sir, attitude, here I would like to add, actually, as you have spoken, the attitude has to be positive. You've got to have a positive lookout, right? But it is not the same. See, you are sitting there in US, you're having a good time, you are having resource, and then you're somebody who is from downtrodden and our dependent population, they undergo a lot of trauma, getting their basic also, sir. in that case, it is very difficult for them to really, kind of be positive and all. So there the role of family and the community emerges, that or institution like, social worker like us, who would go to them and then would help them to stay positive. And these people can be linked up with economic institution, some skills. The term strategic planning. Strategic planning is, we've got to ensure that no matter what, because when we are talking about geriatric population, the geriatric populations are, age is common, but socio-cultural, psychological, mental, spiritual, and timeline factors are very different, sir. So we have to take cognizance of that and be ready with a proactive
Just
measures.
one second, because you said that because I am in USA resources, I am a geriatrician, and this is something from the American Association of Retired Physicians. I retired the members. That is I received this one letter today, crying for help for the geriatric population. The same problems, mindset. They are also saying that, oh, we are helpless, we are hopeless, nobody is helping us. It is not just India, USA. So please don't try to say, oh, I have all the resources, that's why I'm able to enjoy. No, it is a mindset. It is my stop rehabilitation, all these things, and making them victims. The victim mentality, that is what is these many people are injecting that one. Oh, we will be here, or this one, and ideal this one, and help them. These people about the food also, you are talking about not palatable food and all those things. They should learn how to make simple this one, oatmeal and all those things. It is not a big thing to, it won't cost a lot. Instead of that one, depending on somebody else, this dependency, that is what they should stop. And they are becoming a burden unnecessarily for everybody else. If you are bedridden because of some stroke or anything, then I can understand becoming a dependent. It is not like that for anything and everything. And what prevents them from learning certain things about they don't know anything about the banking. Oh, I don't know how to use this one. They want somebody else to help all the time. Everything. That is all their attitude, mindset. That is where people like you should focus on. Instead of spending a lot of time in talking about all this rehabilitation, all these things, please focus on this area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, Chandrakala, for giving us a mind-blowing session. We are expecting more sessions from you to create awareness in our society. Yeah, we thank from Deccan Positive Mental Health in association with Manasha Shubhakara and Yellow Pond Counseling Center, International Center from Madurai, then Forest Creative Arts Punjab, then Sri Dipti Counseling Center from Hyderabad. We thank each and everyone, those who are attended, and happy Makar Shankranti to all the participants. Yeah, thank you, friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Venugopal sir. I'll get in touch with you